In this video, I'll show you how to be productive and have the best day of your life using the 20-second rule. Hi everyone and welcome to another Psychology Shark video. Today I'm going to show you how to make the most out of every day with a few simple tips. We all know that feeling when we have loads on our plate and there's just no time for anything else. That's why it's essential to start each day off right so that we can get everything done without any stress or disappointment. This one is for those who are always looking for ways to improve themselves in order to live a happy life full of long-lasting memories. Have you ever felt the need to complete a task but you always end up doing something irrelevant and by the end of the day you're back to square one? Do you ever want to learn a new habit but after a day or two you go back to your bad habits and do what you do not want to do? Well, if you're like me, I bet you answered yes to all that, and like me, you need to adopt the 20-second rule to take back control and be productive. I'm pretty sure you've experienced a scenario or more where you wanted to complete a task but somehow you lost focus and procrastinated. You then went further into doing something of less importance. Well, our bad habits of procrastinating, getting distracted, and not being consistent are a result of laziness and our limited supply of willpower to do what's essential. Being productive comes with you developing good habits and breaking the bad ones. The difference between good habits and bad habits are those tiny barriers we either create or cut in our lives. Shawn Achor wrote a book titled The Happiness Advantage. In this book, Shawn discussed how he wanted to get good at playing the guitar, but before he could be so good, he had to practice first. Now, Shawn's problem was not to practice. Instead, Shawn's problem was that he was less motivated to do it. No matter how hard he tried, his guitar was still sitting 20 seconds away inside his cupboard. The reason why he was less motivated was because of decision fatigue. Decision fatigue affects almost every one of us. It's when you have too many decisions that you don't know which one to choose from. You become so stressed by the number of decisions you have to make throughout the day. And even after making a final decision, it usually isn't the best choice afterward. Other times, decision fatigue comes from the inability to prioritize and focus. You might want to work out, but after thinking about all the steps and decisions you would have to make, your brain chooses to default to the easy decision of binging Netflix and eating junk food. And while decision fatigue is something that we all deal with, there are a few ways that you can organize your life to be productive. One way to get rid of decision fatigue is by implementing the 20-second rule. A common problem that most people have is starting. Our minds tend to break down the steps and actions required to complete a task before we perform them. So let's say you want to work out. You start to visualize how you have to wake up at 6 a.m., change to your workout clothes, warm up, exercise, cool down, and back to your daily activities. Your mind sees this as a whole lot of activities and gets overwhelmed. Here's the hack. You don't need to start thinking about all the little steps you have to take. Instead, you only have to focus on the very first action you need to take. The 20 seconds rule explains that you need less power to start an activity. The 20-second rule brings about the odd marriage of laziness and productivity. It's the first 20 seconds of making decisions that will wire your brain towards forming new habits or staying away from them. So when you want to start a new habit, you would first need to spend some energy to ensure there are no obstacles to getting that habit started. Let's use working out as an example. Instead of having to get up and walk to your closet to get your workout mat, all you need to do within 20 seconds is to have your workout mat next to your bed. Doing this not only shaves off 20 seconds, but it also shaves off many minutes needed to start getting fit. When you spend 20 seconds getting started, the rest of the tasks become easy. So how do we use the 20-second rule? You can use the 20-second rule by adopting the activation level principle. In physics, activation energy is the initial spark needed to catalyze a reaction. In simpler terms, activation energy is the willpower required to start or end an activity. The activation level principle states that you should lower your activation level for habits you want to adopt and increase it for the bad habits you want to break. The more we decrease or increase the activation energy for our desired action, the more we double down our productivity. By increasing the activation energy for an action we don't want to do, we decrease our interest to partake in that action. In other words, when we lower the activation energy, we create a path of least resistance, which means the task would be easier to do because it is the easiest course of action. When we increase the activation energy for a task, we create a path of high resistance, which means performing the task will be difficult because it needs a longer course of action. How do we lower activation energy? Create as many obstacles as you can on your way to things that will stop you from being productive. For example, you may want to stop watching TV because it eats up your time and leaves you unproductive. To adopt the activation energy principle, you would have to increase the activation energy you use to watch television. How do you do that? You can either choose to throw out the batteries to the remote, or like Mark Zuckerberg, you could take out your television. By doing this, you have created high resistance to watching TV. What does this mean? Imagine you wake up one morning and you go downstairs to get a cup of coffee. But while having your coffee, you wanted to watch television. So what do? You go to the living room and boom, you can't find the TV because you stored it in the basement. Keeping the TV in the basement has increased the activation energy needed to watch it. Also, having to go all the way to the basement to get the TV, which is pretty heavy, has created a path to high resistance. So your brain helps you do the calculation and the 20 seconds of decision making, should I go down to the basement to get the TV, would convince your brain to get back to work. Thus, your willpower agrees to watch TV another day. The 20-second rule and principle also works in the opposite direction. If there's something that you want to do, find a way to put that action within a 20-second window. In the workout case, putting your workout mat beside your bed and your workout clothes on your dressing table will lower the activation energy required for you to take action, and it will create less resistance towards working out. Doing this would make your workout session smooth and easy. The benefits that come with adopting the 20-second rule and its principle are: this rule will help you do the most important thing first. What is the most important thing for you right now? Is it getting fit? Is it starting your business? Is it starting that YouTube channel? Whatever it is for you, with the 20-second rule, you can put your best energy towards it by creating a path of least resistance. This rule will also help you to start making commitments. Everyone makes decisions, but committing to them can be very difficult. With this principle, you can start to be productive and proactive by committing to your decisions. We make commitments to our decisions by scheduling the most important thing for the first thing of the day. It may include working on a big project, eating healthy, working out, or more. One technique I use is to write down my 5 vital tasks for the day and pin it to my wall. And I do this the night before so that my brain gets prepared for tomorrow's tasks. The truth is, we won't always have the willpower and the motivation to do some things. Most times, we lose the willpower to go on, so it's vital to schedule our decisions and commit to them. If you just sit back and hope that you'll make the right decisions every day, you'll fall victim to decision fatigue and a lack of willpower. Set honest priorities for earlier in the day. The last benefit of this rule is that it helps you simplify the choices you need to make all through the day. To make his life simpler and more productive, Shawn Achor had to remove his remote batteries. By doing that, he eliminated the choice of watching the TV. Whether you're trying to reach the highest level of performance or you want to get fit, find ways to simplify your life. If some things are not important to you, cut them out. You can use the 20-second rule in your work, school, and even in your personal life. The idea is to distract yourself with productivity. With the 20-second rule, you create an environment that makes productivity and commitment your new default. But to make it work, it has to be a habit. You need to be consistent with what you do, and even though the steps may seem small at the time, doing the right and essential things day in and day out will move you further down the path to success. Sometimes it takes more than 20 seconds, but all the time you spend wins you several hours of productivity. Here's your challenge for the day. Get a piece of paper and write down the top 3 things that are important for you to achieve today. Also, write down what distractions could stop you from completing those tasks. Once you have them written down, one by one, take out those distractions from wherever they are and keep them 20 seconds away from you. Getting things done is hard. It's easy to get distracted by all the shiny objects in your inbox, social media, and even your own thoughts. I've been there and it sucks. You can spend hours on a task only to realize you haven't made any progress at all. You got sidetracked with something else that seemed more important or interesting at the time. This is where a blueprint comes in handy. Through years of trial and error, I've figured out what works best for me when it comes to getting things done faster than ever before without sacrificing quality or impact. My daily habits are what make this possible, so if you're interested in learning them, then check out some of my great mentors in the description. That's it, you're officially on your way to being productive. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, click on the like button and share with your friends so that they can also learn a thing or two. Don't forget to subscribe so you can get more informative life tricks from my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.